Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be focusing all about Betrayal and the Immortal Syndicate. I'm really excited to talk about this one because I've been doing a lot of research. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump right into the mechanics. So as I said at the beginning of the video, today is going to be all about the Betrayal mechanic in Path of Exile. And first off, what is Betrayal? It has a lot to do with the Immortal Syndicate, and what we're doing in Betrayal is we are tracking down members of the Immortal Syndicate to try and figure out where the safe house is. There's 4 different safe houses. There is transportation, research safe houses, intervention safe houses, and fortification safe houses. What that is a safe house is a kind of like a map where you go in, fight a bunch of enemies, and at the end of the safe house, you're going to fight one of the Immortal Syndicate leaders. The leader of that safe house is going to be accompanied by whoever else has been assigned to that safe house. So, for instance, if you're going on to a transportation safe house, you're going to be fighting that leader of transportation, as well as any other Immortal Syndicate member that has been assigned to that safe house. So that is why it's going to be incredibly important to know a lot about this league mechanic. You're going to want to know who's in the Immortal Syndicate and where is the best place to have them assigned to and what they drop in the various safe houses. And perhaps maybe there's something in a safe house that is more meaningful to you than another player. So I'm going to show you how to figure out and kind of craft your own Immortal Syndicate to get the loot that you're after for this league. When the Betrayal League came out in 2018, we got specialized loot in the form of veiled items. We got its own assortment of uniques specific to the league, which have a lot to do with veiled craft as well. And in Ultimatum, we actually now get an update to how veiled items work, as well as a new currency orb called a Veiled Orb. And so we're going to dive right into all of that stuff. So what the heck is this little table then? Well, this is actually a cheat sheet that you can use to set your own preferences for what rewards you're after, and it shows each reward for all of the Immortal Syndicate members and what safe house you need them to be at in order to get that reward. It's incredibly useful, and I'm going to go ahead and include the link of this website in the description of the video. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about the rewards that you can expect to get from each of the different Immortal Syndicate members and where you need to have them in the safe houses to get that reward. First off, Aceling is going to be very, very good. With the recent changes in Ultimatum to how veiled mods work, she will get you the best overall value because her whole thing is that she deals with the veiled mechanic. How the change works in Ultimatum is that veiled mods and not the crafts, but the veiled mods don't count as a craft. They don't take up your crafting spot anymore. So if you get a veiled item and it's actually good, it'll actually count as just one of the other regular stats. So you can still bring it to your crafting bench and add on another veiled craft, or you can even just put on one of your other crafts. So again, veiled is very good. Aceling is veiled, so she is in turn very good as well. And she's pretty much good in any of the safe houses to get that. Now, moving on, we have Chimera here. She's just okay, but she does give the option in transportation to have league-specific legendaries, which can be pretty nice. Now, Elrond, he's pretty trash. He just gets you, there's a little window that will open up, and you get to a certain time limit to pick one of the uniques that is in that window. It's not that great, and they're usually pretty terrible uniques. And then his scarab that he drops in Intervention is a Reliquary Scarab, which is not my favorite scarab at all, so that's why I have that one red. Gravasius has pretty terrible rewards because it's all about divination cards. Now, the divination scarab can be kind of fun to use if you're putting it in like so if you really need to farm a specific divination card on a map, but otherwise I don't really use it that often. Guff is actually not the best Immortal Syndicate member in my opinion. Now, his transportation can be okay because you do get like a chaos spam that you can do with it. So I suppose if you really wanted to do that, you could. Haku, he's actually pretty terrible. He has a lot to do with like just rare items and strong boxes and quality on strong boxes and all that kind of crap. So not that great. Hillock, actually pretty good anywhere that you can put him, except for I don't really care for intervention. Like the Abyss Scarab is just okay, but quality to weapons is really good, and that can be all the way up to 30 quality. Quality on armor can be very good, all the way up to 30 quality. Now, one of the main reasons why armor and weapon is really quality is really good is that the sockets have a better chance to roll 6-socketed items, and I think a slightly better chance to potentially get a 6 link on it when you're using fusings. So having that extra quality on your armor is going to hopefully get you that 6 link a little bit quicker. Now, quality on flasks actually is pretty good. I should probably have this as a yellow. The reason I say that is because you can get a flask up to 28 quality pretty easily here, and there's quite a few flasks in the game that could really get more valuable when you put the quality on there. It That Fled is all about breach specific type things, and then his main one that's going to be amazing is this upgrade to breach stones. So if you put him in research and you get him at rank 3, which we'll talk about how to rank up your Immortal Syndicate members later. If you get him to rank 3, then you're going to be getting a pure breach stone upgrade, which is very valuable in trade. Jonas is actually probably not the best, but I guess he does get like the currency shards, which I don't know. I don't even know why they have that green, to be honest. Jorgen, talismans. I mean, aspect mod rares can be decent, and then upgrading an amulet to a talisman. I think this one actually can be okay in some cases. And if you like bestiary scarabs, like if you want to run a lot of Einhar missions and stuff, you can do that. There's quite a few good items that you can get from Einhar, so bestiary scarabs, and I think they're still pretty valuable on trade, if I'm not mistaken, too. Corel, so he's okay, gets the map fragments, which can be pretty nice because you can get like Elder fragments and stuff like that, as well as Shaper type stuff. And he also has the Elder Scarab, which is actually really good because you can get Elder influenced maps easier that way. Leo, he's got the random currency, and now this down here is actually pretty good because you'll get to basically the Exalt craft on an item. So it opens up a window, and it will say like add a extra mod onto a rare item or something like that. So it's pretty much the value of an Exalt craft. It's pretty nice. Riker is probably not that good. Just get the Blighted Scarabs there. Rin, Cartography. Yeah, Rin's actually pretty bad. Don't do Rin. Don't try to kick her out of your Immortal Syndicate if at all possible. Tora, she's actually pretty decent in research. That experience to a gem is really valuable. It's depending on the gem, of course. Vagan is really good if you want to run Legion, because his whole thing's about Legion, and in intervention, he can get you that Legion Scarab, which can sometimes be a winged Scarab if he's high enough rank. And then Varisi. So Varisi is pretty good because of the white sockets to items in research, which is 1 to 6 white sockets on an item. It's amazing. And Shaper Scarabs from him as well, which it's kind of like the Elder Scarabs. They're just pretty valuable to have to add that Shaper influence to a map. Okay, that's everybody who you can have in your map, and that's kind of where the rewards are that you should expect to get from that Immortal Syndicate member. All right, now we get to discuss some of the more exciting stuff about the Betrayal mechanic. And this is the Betrayal Immortal Syndicate board that you can see from June. And this is where all of the Betrayal stuff happens. So these are the different safe houses: transportation, fortification, research, and intervention. The leader is indicated by the red box around, or circle around the team member. And the question marks that we're looking here are team members that we haven't encountered yet in the maps. And then this big one here at the top is the mastermind, which is Katarina. and she will drop league-specific uniques, like, for example, the Cinder Swallow, which once you get it from her, you can take that back to June, unveil it, and you'll be able to decide what that last veiled mod is on that Cinder Swallow. The other thing that happens when you encounter Katarina is all of your team members get +1 rank, I'm pretty sure, and you'll get to go on this little spree where you get to encounter each of the different team members' mechanics. Okay, now that you're more familiar with the board that we're looking at and how exciting the rewards can be for doing the Betrayal mechanic, let's talk about how you get those rewards. So the main thing is that you will not be able to get any of the rewards on the graph that we looked at earlier unless you visit the safe houses. So the safe houses can be visited if you know the location. To find the location, you will do little encounters with each of the different Immortal Syndicate members in maps, and they will sometimes give you intelligence towards the location of the safe house that they're currently assigned to. So let's go ahead and talk about ranks and moving team members around, and we're also going to be talking about trust and rivals. So ranks are these little stars that show up in the top right corner of each of the Immortal Syndicate members, and if we remove the rank entirely from a team member, they will become unassigned and no longer belong to any of the different safe houses. This is actually extremely useful when we want to move the team member around, because when a Immortal Syndicate member is unassigned, they actually have a higher encounter rate. You'll start seeing them more often, and you'll get more opportunities to move that person around wherever you would like. So, for instance, if we have Chimera here in transportation, but we'd rather have her on intervention, what we would do is we would just encounter, every time we encounter Chimera, we would interrogate her. She'll show up in the prison for 3 turns, and then after 3 turns are done, she'll be back out out in transportation again, the one that she last left. However, she'll have 1 less rank. She'll be at rank 2. Now we encounter her again, we're going to interrogate her again, and it'll be 3 turns, and so on. Then, once you've removed every single rank from Chimera, she'll be unassigned and sitting somewhere around here, and she'll just start showing up more often now because she's not assigned to anything, so she'll just start showing up in everything. Once she has shown up in the safe house encounter that you would like to see her in, you'll get the option usually to rank her up and then add her to that safe house. Now she'll always gain a rank, or any unassigned team member will always gain 1 rank when you assign them to a role. Now that we know about ranks and unassigning Immortal Syndicate members from safe houses and moving them around, let's go ahead and talk trust, rivalries, and a few other things. So with trust, you're going to start seeing these 2 team members a lot more, because anytime you encounter this one, which is it that fled, and anytime that you encounter Jonas, the other team member has an opportunity to come in and help them fight you. And there's also rivalries. They are I don't have any rivals right now, but they're shown with a red line instead of a green line, and rivals kind of act the same way. But those members don't like each other, and so they have an increased chance to come in and help you fight that team member when you encounter the opposite one. So these are actually pretty good because you'll start seeing both of those members more often. You want to try and put that trust or a rivalry onto a Immortal Syndicate member that you like to see a lot. So, for instance, Vagan's actually pretty good, which is why I chose to do this one. I didn't even mean to do this one here because I don't like Jonas that much. And Varisi and Leo is really good because they're both great, so I want to see them a lot. Now, they are in the same safe house, so I pretty much encounter them all the time when I hit research anyway. So that's a little bit of knowledge about the trusted team members and what that actually means and what it does. Now, rivals are actually the better choice here if you can have them rivaled. And if you ever encounter one that says remove all rivalries, I pretty much suggest never doing that unless the rivalries that you have set up are not really what you want. Now, the reason that you want rivalries is because, for one, they're going to be coming in to help you fight the dude who, you know, maybe interventioned with you or something like that. But also, you're going to have a higher opportunity to rank up one of them because they're going to be trying to, like, backstab the other. You can also use rivalries as a way of getting somebody kicked out of the Immortal Syndicate. So you could actually cause a rivalry with a member that you want to see get kicked out. Like, for instance, Janus here. I partnered him with It That Fled. And when somebody's trusted like that, you actually have a higher opportunity of making them become rivals. And then when they're rivals, you can have a higher opportunity to kick one of them out. And I do want to see Janus leave the Immortal Syndicate and hopefully get somebody better, like maybe Tora, for instance. Anyway, the other thing that rivalries will do is that, let's say, if I knew who this was anyway, let's say that I wanted to have Riker move into this spot. If Riker was rivaled with the person in here, I'd have a higher opportunity of kicking this person out of the lead spot of intervention, and then Riker would go in, and the person who's the leader actually gets double rewards. So it could be potentially really good if, say, I wanted Varisi's, you know, item thing. If he was the leader there, you know, it would actually get better rewards for those white sockets in research. Now, let's talk about farming strategies for the Immortal Syndicate and the Betrayal League. So this comes down a lot to personal preference, especially since in Ultimatum, they say that they have buffed the rewards that you can get from the Mastermind, and so it might not always be the best to do this first strategy that I'm going to go ahead and talk about now. So one of the strategies is to put all of your team members that you don't care about to one side of the board and just try to get everybody over here that you don't really care about. And then on the other side of the board, which is research and intervention. See, research typically has stuff like Varisi, which gets you those white sockets, and intervention typically has things like the scarabs, and there's some really good scarabs out there that people want. You can also get breach stones here with It That Fled, and you can get Leo's 2 Exalt craft, and so this is pretty valuable, and so is the intervention one with all the scarabs. So what you do is you get everybody you don't care about over on the left side, which is transportation and fortification, and you keep only the members here that have the best rewards, and you keep them at max rank if you can. Now, when you run the safe house, it might scatter these members, but they're more likely just to head back over into intervention and research. You can rank them up, and you can continually just keep farming the safe houses here for those like top tier rewards. Only the rewards that you really, really care about. Now, like I said, they did say, Grinding Your Games anyway, said that they have increased the rewards from the Mastermind. So the other strategy when it comes to farming is just to do your safe houses as you're leveling each of the members up. Make sure you try to get them into the safe house that you would like to see them in with their appropriate rank, and just keep running those as much as possible. And then when the Mastermind becomes available, just go ahead and run it. Don't even care about stockpiling other safe houses, and boom, you just keep going, continuously do that, and you go for the rewards that way. Now the Mastermind's pretty cool because when you kill Katarina, you do get a chance to get all of the rewards from every single member, depending on which safe house they were in at the time that you did the Mastermind. So you go in there and then kill her, and then you'll go into this little basement area, and then each room will have one of the different team members' rewards. Okay, here we go. We just ran into an intervention encounter, so we're gonna go ahead and take down whoever this is. I actually can't really tell right now. Here, forgot to put on my... Okay, so it's Vegan. Let's see, he didn't actually get anybody else with him. Anyway, so we get the option to interrogate him, or we can add +4 to the research, and Vegan and Varisi become trusted. I think I will actually go ahead and do that. Alright, so we just ran into a little transportation encounter. We've killed the dudes, and we've got Chimeria and Jonas here. Now you can see if I do rank up Jonas, then he will move over there to fortification and, or excuse me, transportation, and he will rank up. If we talk to Chimeria, we can rank her up, but it will do nothing because she's already at max rank. So if we do this one, Corel and Jonas will become trusted and will gain some research intelligence. That tells me that Corel is the leader of that research safe house. You know, typically, you don't want to run the safe houses unless you know who that is. Thank you so much for everyone who has watched to the end of the video. I just want to say really quick that I will probably be putting out an update to this guide because I just realized near the end of that video that I never even talked about veiled items. So I still have a whole section on that. My next thing is probably going to be some build guides coming up. I really want to talk about my totem guide a lot more, and I want to talk about my first character for the league, which was actually a Bladefall Blade Blast Inquisitor. All right, well, everyone, until next time, thank you so much for watching once again, and I'll see you on the next video.